Welcome to the channel, Coin Enthusiasts. If you're a collector or just someone fascinated by hidden treasures, you're in for a treat. In today's video, we're diving into the top 7 rarest and most expensive dimes in US history, coins that are worth way more than their face value. From minting errors to rare years, these dimes could make you a fortune. Stick around to the end, because you might just discover a coin in your collection that could be worth thousands, or even millions. Let's get started. Number 1. The Roosevelt dime is one of the most iconic coins in the United States, not only for its historical significance but also for its rare and valuable additions. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most interesting coins that any collector should keep an eye out for, the 1967 Roosevelt dime. It's a coin that might seem ordinary at first glance, but some rare versions of this coin can be worth a surprising amount of money. If you're a coin collector or simply curious about the world of rare coins, this is a video you don't want to miss. The Roosevelt dime was first issued in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The design, which features a profile of Roosevelt himself, was created by John R. Sinek. The coin has been in circulation ever since, with several variations over the years due to changes in minting techniques and rare errors. Now, when we talk about valuable dimes, it's important to recognize that rarity plays a huge role in determining the coin's worth. There are thousands of different dimes in circulation, but only a handful of them are truly rare or valuable. One such example is the 1967 Roosevelt dime. At first glance, you might think that the 1967 dime isn't much different from any other dime. After all, it's just a regular coin that was produced in huge numbers. But in the world of coin collecting, it's the tiny details that matter. Some 1967 dimes were accidentally struck with a different type of minting process, causing slight errors in the coin's design. These mistakes, often known as mint errors, can make a coin much more valuable than you might expect. One of the most sought-after versions of the 1967 Roosevelt dime is the one with a doubled die. This error occurs when the coin is struck twice, causing the image to appear more than once, giving it a distinctive and noticeable doubling effect. For collectors, this is considered a major find, and coins with such errors can fetch impressive prices. In addition to minting errors, the condition of the coin also plays a major role in determining its value. Coins that are well preserved, with little to no wear and tear, are much more valuable than coins that have been heavily circulated. The 1967 Roosevelt dime, if in pristine condition, can be worth far more than its face value. Even without major errors, a coin that is in excellent condition can attract the attention of serious collectors and coin enthusiasts alike. But how much can a 1967 Roosevelt dime really be worth? Well, the value of these coins can vary widely depending on their rarity, condition, and the specific minting errors they may have. A standard 1967 dime in average condition might only be worth a few dollars, but one with a rare error or an exceptional condition can easily be worth thousands. And now, for the most impressive part, some of these rare dimes, especially those with doubling errors or those in mint state condition, have been known to sell for as much as $60,000. That's right, $60,000. This makes the 1967 Roosevelt dime one of the most valuable and sought-after coins in the world of numismatics today. So, if you happen to come across a 1967 Roosevelt dime, it might just be worth more than you think. Whether you're an experienced coin collector or a casual viewer just starting to explore the world of rare coins, it's always worth taking a closer look at the coins in your pocket change. You never know what hidden treasures might be waiting for you. That's all for today's video on the rare and valuable 1967 Roosevelt dime. Make sure to subscribe for more in-depth looks into the world of coins and numismatics. And who knows, you might just uncover your next great find. Number 2. In the world of rare and valuable coins, few are as iconic and sought after as the 1894 Roosevelt dime. You might be surprised to learn that this small, seemingly ordinary coin has a fascinating history and a jaw-dropping value. While the Roosevelt dime series officially began in 1946, the 1894 dime is actually part of the earlier Barber dime series, which ran from 1892 to 1916. So, what makes this particular dime so rare and valuable? Let's dive into its story and explore why collectors are willing to pay astronomical amounts for this coin. First, it's important to know the history behind the 1894 dime. The Barber dime, designed by Charles E. Barber, features a profile of liberty on the obverse side and an eagle on the reverse. The 1894 dime, however, is incredibly rare because only 24 of these coins were ever minted by the San Francisco Mint. That's right, only 24. This makes it one of the most sought-after coins for serious numismatists. Now, you might be wondering, why were so few of these dimes minted? The answer lies in a combination of factors. In 1894, the U.S. Mint was experiencing a significant reduction in the production of silver dimes. Many of the coins that were struck in that year were intended for circulation, but only a tiny number were actually produced in San Francisco. The rarity of these coins, combined with their historical significance, makes them a holy grail for coin collectors. What makes the 1894 dime even more extraordinary is the story behind its circulation. Most of the dimes produced that year were either melted down or disappeared over time. In fact, many of the original 24 1894 dimes have been lost to history. Some were given as gifts to important figures or were held by banks, while others simply vanished into obscurity. As you can imagine, the few 1894 dimes that remain are in extremely high demand. When it comes to value, this coin can reach astronomical figures at auctions. Due to its rarity and historical importance, the 1894 dime is considered one of the most valuable coins in the United States. In recent years, the value of these coins has skyrocketed, with some selling for millions of dollars. The condition of the coin plays a major role in its value. Coins that are well preserved and show minimal wear are far more valuable than those that are heavily circulated. A coin in mint state condition, meaning it appears almost as if it just came from the mint, can fetch an incredibly high price, especially at auctions where collectors are willing to pay a premium for the finest examples. But just how valuable is the 1894 dime? To put it in perspective, these coins can sell for between $1 million and $2 million. Yes, you heard that right, between $1 million and $2 million for a single dime. That's because the 1894 dime is not just a coin, it's a rare piece of history, a collectible treasure that connects modern-day collectors with the past in an incredibly tangible way. Given its rarity and immense value, it's easy to see why coin collectors are so passionate about the 1894 dime. It's a piece of American history that stands as a testament to the ingenuity and craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint, and its limited production makes it a true gem in the world of numismatics. If you ever come across one of these rare dimes, whether through an auction, inheritance, or in your pocket change, you could be holding on to a fortune. For casual viewers, it's important to understand that not every Roosevelt or Barber dime is worth a small fortune. While most dimes in circulation today hold only their face value of 10 cents, coins like the 1894 dime prove that rare, well-preserved coins can be worth far more. As a general rule of thumb, the rarer the coin and the better its condition, the higher its value. So, whether you're an experienced collector or just beginning your journey into the world of numismatics, it's always worth keeping an eye out for rare and valuable coins like the 1894 dime. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. That wraps up today's look at the rare and valuable 1894 Roosevelt dime. Remember to subscribe for more fascinating insights into the world of coins, their history, and how you can discover hidden treasures that could be worth a fortune. Who knows? The next time you check your spare change, you might just find a coin worth $1 million to $2 million. Number 3. When it comes to rare coins in the United States, the Roosevelt dime is one that often stands out among collectors, especially when we look at the 1975 Roosevelt dime. Most people associate dimes with their everyday use, and you might not think of them as being worth much more than 10 cents. However, some rare dimes, like the 1975 edition, have quietly become valuable collector's items, and today, we're going to explore just how valuable and rare they can be, The Roosevelt dime has been a staple in U.S. currency since 1946, designed by John R. Sinnock to honor the late President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Over the years, the design has remained consistent, but there are certain years when unique minting errors, limited production, or unusual circumstances made certain dimes far more valuable than others. The 1975 Roosevelt dime is one of those special cases that should capture the attention of both seasoned collectors and casual viewers alike. At first glance, the 1975 Roosevelt dime may look just like any other dime you come across in your pocket change. But as we dive deeper, it becomes clear that there are some hidden gems from this year that make the coin extraordinary. The main reason for its rarity comes from a significant but often overlooked minting error, as well as the low number of coins that were struck during this period. In 1975, the U.S. Mint was transitioning between two different production techniques. This period marked the start of a gradual change in how coins were being produced, with a shift toward higher quality minting methods. Some of the 1975 dimes were struck using a technique that resulted in what's called die deterioration, a process where the design on the coin begins to fade or become distorted due to wear on the die. In some rare cases, the 1975 dimes were struck with such significant die damage that it produced a distinctive and appealing look for collectors. These coins are highly sought after because of the unique characteristics caused by the die deterioration. But it's not just the die error that makes the 1975 Roosevelt dime valuable. Another contributing factor to its rarity is the fact that, during the production of this year's dimes, the U.S. Mint produced a smaller number of coins than in previous years. The 1975 dime was a part of a limited release, making it harder to find in good condition compared to other years. Many of the coins that were produced were heavily circulated, and over time, a large number of them were lost, damaged, or destroyed. This combination of factors, the die deterioration and the limited production, makes the 1975 Roosevelt dime particularly rare and attractive to collectors. In fact, coins from this year in excellent condition can fetch impressive amounts at auctions, especially those that show signs of the unique errors we've mentioned. So, if you happen to have a 1975 Roosevelt dime tucked away in your collection or your change jar, it could be worth far more than you think. For most collectors, the value of the coin depends heavily on its condition. Coins that have been well preserved, showing minimal signs of wear, are far more valuable than those that have been circulated for many years. A 1975 dime in mint condition can command a much higher price, especially if it has rare minting errors like die deterioration. Now, let's talk about how much a 1975 Roosevelt dime can be worth. While many coins from this year still circulate at their face value of 10 cents, a rare 1975 dime with the right errors and in excellent condition can be worth an astounding $57,000. That's right, $57,000 for a single dime. This price tag makes the 1975 Roosevelt dime one of the most valuable and intriguing coins in modern U.S. currency. It's a prime example of how rare errors, combined with limited production, can transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. Whether you're a seasoned coin collector or just a casual viewer, it's clear that the 1975 Roosevelt dime is a coin worth keeping an eye out for. So, the next time you go through your spare change, don't just pass over those dimes. Take a closer look at your 1975 Roosevelt dimes, because you might just be holding onto a small fortune. Coins like these are proof that sometimes, hidden treasures are right under our noses, waiting to be discovered. That's all for today's deep dive into the rare and valuable 1975 Roosevelt dime. Be sure to like and subscribe for more fascinating insights into the world of coin collecting, and who knows? You could be the lucky one to find a coin worth $57,000. Number 4. When we think of rare and valuable coins in the United States, many people immediately think of famous pieces like the 1894 Roosevelt dime or the 1916 Mercury dime. But what if I told you that one of the most valuable and rare coins is from 1980, a year that many might overlook when it comes to coin collecting? That's right, we're talking about the 1980 Roosevelt dime, a coin that has flown under the radar for many casual collectors but is actually highly sought after due to its rarity and unique characteristics. The Roosevelt dime series, which has been in circulation since 1946, is beloved by collectors for its simple yet elegant design. The obverse features the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt, designed by John R. Sinek, while the reverse shows a torch, olive branch, and oak branch, symbols of peace, unity, and strength. These dimes are common in everyday transactions, but as with all coins, some years and mints are far more valuable than others. So why is the 1980p Roosevelt dime so special? While many people might think of the 1980s as a decade of excess, this particular coin became valuable for a different reason. It is rare, and its value has skyrocketed over the years due to a few important factors. First, let's talk about the P mint mark. Most Roosevelt dimes from the late 20th century were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, but there's a twist. The 1980p dime is considered rare because of a very low number of these coins being released into circulation in uncirculated condition. In fact, many of them were either damaged, heavily circulated, or lost over time, leaving only a small handful of pristine examples that collectors now fight to own. Another contributing factor to the value of the 1980p Roosevelt dime is its condition. As many of these coins were in circulation for decades, finding one in mint condition is quite rare. A mint state coin is one that has been well preserved, with little to no signs of wear. For collectors, the better the condition of the coin, the higher its potential value. And the 1980p dime, given its scarcity and age, is particularly prized in pristine form. But what really sets this coin apart from other dimes is a very specific minting error that's been discovered over time. The 1980p dime is known for its off-center strike error, which occurs when a coin is struck off-center on the die. This gives the coin a unique and noticeable appearance, with parts of the design missing or shifted to one side. Errors like these are highly desirable to coin collectors because they make a coin not only rare but also unique. These dimes are far more valuable than those without any error, and they often fetch much higher prices in the market. So, how much can a 1980p Roosevelt dime actually be worth? Well, the value can vary depending on the specific coin's condition and whether it has any minting errors. A typical 1980p dime in good condition might be worth only a few dollars, but a well-preserved, error-free version can command a significantly higher price. When you start talking about dimes with off-center strikes or other unique characteristics, the value can soar. In recent years, certain 1980p Roosevelt dimes have sold for astonishing amounts at auctions. For those who are fortunate enough to own one of these rare and pristine examples, it could be worth as much as $53,000. That's right, $53,000 for a single dime. Now, for many coin collectors, this is a once-in-a-lifetime find. The 1980p Roosevelt dime may not be as famous as other rarer coins, but its value, rarity, and unique qualities make it a true treasure in the world of numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone who loves discovering hidden gems, it's important to remember that even the most seemingly ordinary coins can have incredible value. As a casual viewer, you might not realize that a dime minted in 1980 could be worth so much money. But when you take into account the rarity of well-preserved examples, the minting errors, and the fact that fewer of these coins are around today, it becomes clear why this particular dime is so coveted by collectors. So, if you're ever going through your spare change or perhaps going through a box of old coins, take a moment to check for a 1980p Roosevelt dime. You could be holding on to a piece of history that's worth far more than its face value. And who knows? You might just be sitting on a coin worth $53,000. That wraps up today's look at the valuable and rare 1980p Roosevelt dime. Thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe for more coin insights, tips, and hidden treasures that might just be waiting in your collection. Number 5. When most people think about coins in circulation, they probably don't give much thought to dimes. After all, they're small, common, and mostly go unnoticed in your pocket change. But what if I told you that one particular dime, from 1991, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars? Yes, that's right. A 1991 P. Roosevelt dime could be sitting right under your nose, and it might be worth far more than you ever imagined. The Roosevelt dime series, first introduced in 1946, has been a staple in U.S. currency for decades. Designed by artist John R. Sinek, the dime has an iconic image of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the front, with a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse. These dimes are commonly seen in everyday transactions and don't usually attract much attention. But like with many coin series, there are always exceptions, years and mints that produce rare and valuable examples. One such year is 1991. At first glance, the 1991 P. Roosevelt dime may seem just like any other dime you've come across. But there's a unique reason why collectors are so eager to find it. The P in the mint mark indicates that it was minted in Philadelphia. While Philadelphia often produces large quantities of coins, the 1991 P. Roosevelt dime stands out for a very specific reason. An extremely low number of coins from that year were minted in uncirculated condition. What does that mean for collectors? Well, most coins that are produced by the U.S. Mint are sent out into circulation. As you can imagine, these coins get worn down over time. The coins that are not used in circulation and are instead stored in mint condition are much rarer, especially when it comes to the 1991 P. Roosevelt dime. These uncirculated versions were produced in such small quantities that they'd become highly coveted by coin collectors. But that's not all. There are also examples of the 1991 P dime that have what's known as a die crack error. This happens when a crack forms on the die used to stamp the design onto the coin, leaving a mark or a raised line on the coin. These die cracks, though seemingly small, are one of the characteristics that collectors look for when evaluating a coin's value. If you manage to find a 1991 P. Roosevelt dime with this error, you could be holding onto a much more valuable coin than you realize. Now, let's talk about what really matters: the value of the 1991 P. Roosevelt dime. While most dimes in circulation today are worth only 10 cents, the value of the 1991 P can be much higher depending on its condition and the rarity of certain errors. A typical 1991 P dime might only be worth its face value, but if the coin is in mint condition, or even better, has an error like a die crack, it could be worth far more than just 10 cents. So, how much could a 1991 P. Roosevelt dime be worth? The truth is, coins in pristine condition, especially those with unique errors, can fetch impressive amounts. Some rare 1991 P dimes have been sold for prices as high as $43,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $43,000 for a single dime. That's a staggering amount of money for a coin that most people would dismiss as just pocket change. The rarity of the 1991 P. Roosevelt dime is largely due to how few of them were kept in uncirculated condition. With time, many of these coins have been lost, damaged, or worn down by years of circulation. For collectors, this means that finding one in excellent condition is a big deal, and when they do, it's not uncommon for these coins to be sold at auction for a small fortune. Whether you're an experienced coin collector or just someone who has started exploring the world of rare coins, the 1991 P. Roosevelt dime is a perfect example of how an ordinary piece of currency can become an extraordinary collectible. If you have one in your collection, take the time to check its condition and look for any errors. You might just be holding on to a rare treasure. For casual viewers, the key takeaway here is simple: not all dimes are created equal. While most coins in circulation today may be worth only their face value, some coins, like the 1991 P. Roosevelt dime, are rare and valuable. Whether it's because of its low mintage, its uncirculated condition, or a rare minting error, this coin proves that sometimes the hidden gems are the ones you least expect. So, the next time you go through your pocket change or look through an old coin jar, take a moment to inspect any 1991 P. Roosevelt dimes you come across. They could be worth far more than you ever imagined. And who knows, you might just find a coin that's worth $43,000. That's all for today's exploration of the rare and valuable 1991 P. Roosevelt dime. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing insights into the world of coin collecting and discover more coins that might be worth a small fortune. Number 6. When it comes to rare and valuable coins, most people think of old silver dollars or gold pieces. But what if I told you that a simple dime, minted in 1990, could be worth tens of thousands of dollars? That's right, we're talking about the 1990p Roosevelt dime, a coin that many overlook but has quietly become one of the most valuable dimes in modern US coinage. In today's video, we're going to explore why this particular coin is so valuable, how to identify it, and how much it could be worth if you happen to come across one in your collection or pocket change. The Roosevelt dime, which was introduced in 1946, has become an iconic piece of American currency. Designed by John R. Sinek, the dime features the profile of President Franklin D. Roosevelt on the obverse and a torch, olive branch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbols of peace and unity. While the Roosevelt dime is an everyday coin and a staple in U.S. currency, not all dimes are created equal. Some years, mints, and even specific coins are far more valuable than others. The 1990p Roosevelt dime is one of those coins that has captivated collectors for years due to its rarity and unique characteristics. So, what makes the 1990p Roosevelt dime so special? The answer lies in a combination of factors: its limited mintage, the condition of the coins still in existence, and certain minting errors that have made a few examples of this coin incredibly rare and highly sought after. Let's break it down. First, let's talk about the P mint mark. The 1990p Roosevelt dime was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, and typically, coins produced there are more common. However, unlike other years, the 1990p dime had a much smaller mintage compared to other years in the series. As a result, fewer of these coins have survived in good condition, making it harder for collectors to find them. Another reason the 1990p Roosevelt dime stands out is because of the condition of many of the coins from that year. Like most coins, dimes that have been in circulation for years tend to show wear and tear. The 1990p dimes that were heavily circulated have become worn down over time, meaning finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is quite rare. Coins in mint state, those that look almost as if they just came out of the US Mint, are significantly more valuable to collectors. As with any rare collectible, the better the condition, the higher the price. But what really sets this coin apart and makes it so intriguing to collectors are the potential minting errors that occurred during the production of the 1990p Roosevelt dime. Minting errors, such as double strikes, die cracks, and off-center strikes, are common in the world of coin collecting. These errors create one-of-a-kind pieces that can drastically increase the value of a coin. While most 1990p dimes were struck normally, a small number of these coins came with minting errors that make them particularly valuable. For instance, some of the 1990p dimes feature die cracks, or even a slight off-center strike, making them rare finds that can demand high prices at auctions. Now, you may be wondering how much a 1990p Roosevelt dime could be worth if you come across one in excellent condition. A regular 1990p dime in circulated condition may not be worth much more than its face value, just 10 cents. However, when you start talking about coins in mint state condition or those with minting errors, the price begins to rise significantly. Well-preserved examples of the 1990p Roosevelt dime have been sold at auctions for as much as $45,000. Yes, that's right, $45,000 for a single dime. The value of the 1990p Roosevelt dime comes from its rarity, its condition, and the unique characteristics of certain coins from that year. Given how few pristine examples are left, and the demand among collectors for this specific coin, it's no surprise that it commands such high prices. For both experienced collectors and casual viewers, the key takeaway here is that not all dimes are just worth 10 cents. Coins like the 1990p Roosevelt dime prove that some seemingly ordinary pieces of currency can actually hold tremendous value. Whether it's a rare minting error, an uncirculated coin, or just a coin from a limited mintage, there are opportunities to discover hidden treasures in your spare change or old coin collections. So, next time you're sorting through your change jar or going through a box of old coins, make sure to take a close look at any 1990p Roosevelt dimes you find. They could very well be worth far more than their face value. After all, you might just be holding onto a coin worth $45,000. That wraps up today's look at the rare and valuable 1990p Roosevelt dime. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more insights into the world of coin collecting. Who knows, you could be the next lucky person to find a coin worth $45,000. Number 7. If you're a fan of coin collecting, or even just a casual viewer, you might be surprised to learn that some of the most valuable dimes in circulation aren't as old as you might think. In fact, one particular coin, the 1978 Roosevelt dime, has become a rare and highly sought-after treasure in the world of numismatics. It may look like just another dime in your pocket change, but the 1978 Roosevelt dime is much more than meets the eye. Let's dive into why this seemingly ordinary coin from 1978 has captured the attention of collectors and why its value is far greater than just 10 cents. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in 1946, designed by John R. Sinek to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Since its release, the Roosevelt dime has been a staple of U.S. currency. But like all coin series, there are certain years and specific coins that stand out due to rarity, minting errors, or limited production, and the 1978 Roosevelt dime is no exception. The first reason the 1978 Roosevelt dime is so valuable is its unique place in the coinage history of the United States. Although many dimes were produced in 1978, not all of them are rare. However, what makes certain 1978 Roosevelt dimes highly collectible is their condition and the number of them that were actually kept in uncirculated form. In 1978, the U.S. Mint was still producing coins in large quantities, and many of these dimes were sent out into circulation, becoming worn down over time. But there was a smaller number of these coins that remained in mint condition, and those are the ones collectors are now actively hunting for. It's the pristine examples of the 1978 Roosevelt dime, those that have barely seen any wear or circulation, that have attracted a lot of attention in recent years. The fewer of these coins that remain in perfect condition, the more valuable they become. For collectors, finding a 1978 Roosevelt dime that has been kept in mint condition is like stumbling upon a hidden gem. And since many of the dimes from this year were worn down, the demand for high-quality examples has pushed the prices higher and higher. But it's not just the condition that makes the 1978 Roosevelt dime so valuable. There's something else, a rare minting error, that has made certain versions of this coin worth even more. Sometimes coins come out of the mint with unexpected errors, and those errors can increase their value dramatically. For the 1978 Roosevelt dime, one such error is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned with the die during the striking process, causing parts of the design to be shifted or missing altogether. A dime with such a minting error is a rarity, and because errors like this are so unusual, they are highly prized among collectors. The 1978 Roosevelt dime's unique combination of low mintage, pristine condition, and potential minting errors has made it a coin that is in high demand. If you're lucky enough to own a 1978 dime in excellent condition, or better yet, one with a minting error, you might have something that could fetch a serious amount at auction. Now, let's talk about the big question. How much could a 1978 Roosevelt dime actually be worth? While most 1978 dimes circulating today are worth just their face value of 10 cents, the rare, uncirculated versions, and those with minting errors, are a completely different story. In fact, certain 1978 Roosevelt dimes have sold for incredible prices at auctions, with well-preserved examples or coins with minting errors being valued as much as $57,000. Yes, that's right, $57,000 for a single dime. This eye-popping value is a testament to how rare and valuable certain coins can be, even if they don't come from centuries ago. It's a reminder that hidden treasures can be found in the most unexpected places, and that a coin that may seem insignificant at first could be worth more than you ever imagined. For coin collectors, the 1978 Roosevelt dime represents more than just a piece of history. It's a rare opportunity to own a coin that combines rarity, beauty, and unique characteristics. And for casual viewers, it's a great reminder that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. The next time you're going through your spare change or digging through an old coin collection, take a moment to check for a 1978 Roosevelt dime. You never know, you might just be holding onto a small fortune, so, whether you're a seasoned collector or a newcomer to the world of numismatics, keep an eye out for the 1978 Roosevelt dime. It's a rare and valuable piece of U.S. coinage that could be worth far more than its 10-cent face value. Who knows? You might just discover a dime worth $57,000 sitting right in your collection. That's all for today's exploration of the rare and valuable 1978 Roosevelt dime. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on more fascinating insights into the world of coins and collectibles. Until next time, happy hunting, you might just find your own treasure.